All right, so we are all hitched up to the Texas Pride 14-foot dump trailer. This is the dump trailer that I had spec'd out with a 20,000 pound GVWR, but derated it to 12,000 pounds. So actual payload carrying capability in this is about 7,000 pounds, 6,500, somewhere in that range. And it's gonna give me more than enough for what we're gonna do with it. So I'm gonna be picking up about 2 pallets worth of block, a bunch of sand, and a bunch of other stuff over at Lowe's. Have a big project this weekend that we're gonna try to knock out, and hopefully it'll be fun. But yeah, if you didn't check out any of the content I did on my Texas Pride trailers, they are pretty dang sweet. And they actually offered to paint it to match the truck, but I opted against that because this is a stupidly expensive paint color, and I really didn't think it made sense to paint a dump trailer with such high-end paint. Plus, if I ever get rid of the truck and I don't get another ruby red truck because they don't make this color anymore, well, then I'm stuck with a trailer that matches a truck I don't have. So you get any dings or anything like that, what do you touch it up with? Ruby red. So the regular red, I think, looks a lot better, honestly, and works well for a dump trailer. And I know a lot of folks say that the flag needs to be facing the other way. I agree. I just couldn't find one with the flag facing the other way. So I apologize for anybody who's offended by that, but I think it easily lets people know that I'm very proud of my country. And as soon as someone makes one with the flag facing the other way, let me know and I'll swap this one out with that. But one thing I did on this trailer that I haven't updated you guys on is I've added an abundance of small solar panels. So this is the same solar panel, the Duravolt panel, that I put on pin boxes of fifth wheels. It's magnetically attached. This is the one that they spec'd in when they built the trailer, and this is one that I picked up off of Amazon. Why? Because they put 2 huge deep cycle marine batteries inside of here, and when this sits out here for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, the batteries are all but dead. So instead of just putting one huge panel on here, I gathered panels that I had and put them on, and it keeps the batteries pretty well maintained. So it's been working well for me, and I'm not wasting panels. So absolutely love them. This is the panel, again, I featured on multiple videos. The one that we attached to the front of a pin box on a fifth wheel works really well, and at least now I have some charge going to the battery, so that makes me happy. But aside from that, we're gonna hit the road. Just got done double checking everything. All right, so about the only thing I don't think I care for on this trailer is how the license plate was mounted. They mounted it right here. Actually, it was a paper plate, and you couldn't operate the ramp doors if you put a real plate there. The plate was too wide. So I thought about mounting it lower, but you can't do that because it will interfere with the tipping mechanism. It'll actually scrape the ground. So I think the third and final option is really just to mount it somewhere on the back door here, which I'll probably end up doing. Right now I have it mounted off to the side here and added a light to it just to keep me legal. And yeah, I'm gonna relocate that probably to the back somewhere. Other than that though, absolutely love this trailer. Alcoa wheels and these huge J-rated tires. Very, very cool. Anyways guys, we're gonna go ahead and take off and hit the road. So, ever since I started posting videos talking about some of the limitations of half tons towing certain travel trailers over a certain weight and almost every fifth wheel, I get a lot of folks that leave a comment or even send me an email saying a specific thing that I want to try to clarify. And what their rebuttal to that is, well, if it's not good to tow a travel trailer over 6,000 pounds with a half-ton truck, and a half-ton truck weighs roughly 6,000 pounds, then why is it okay to tow a fifth wheel that weighs upwards of 19 to 25,000 pounds with a pickup truck that weighs half of that, right? So if you take your typical 1-ton dually or 1-ton single rear wheel truck, they're gonna have a gross vehicle weight rating probably around 13,000 all the way up to 14,000 pounds, but the truck itself dry weighs between 8,000 and 9,500 pounds. So why is it okay to tow such a heavy fifth wheel with a 1-ton single or dually pickup truck, but it's not okay to tow a 10,000 pound travel trailer with a 5,000 pound pickup truck? All right, so I know a lot of folks automatically think anytime I have a conversation about pickup trucks and the type of trailers you should tow and the numbers you should be cautious of going over, all of that, people automatically assume that I am overly cautious. And I might be to some degree. But there's also logic and numbers behind what I talk about. I'm comparing different aspects of different types of trucks. So from a pure towing perspective, a half-ton truck can absolutely tow more than its weight. It can tow upwards of 10,000 to 12,000 pounds. I've made that more than abundantly clear in several videos that I've made. Well, the question then becomes, well, why can't you tow a 10,000 or 12,000 pound travel trailer? Well, the reason why is because of the soft suspension that a half-ton truck has. The weight that you're transferring to the back of that truck, and I always talk about payload capacity, right? The payload capacity that you transfer to the back of that truck and how that truck handles that weight is significantly different than a dually. Because half-ton trucks are generally geared towards ride quality, they're not necessarily focused on the same things that somebody who buys a dually is focused on, and that's the ability to handle a significant amount of downward pressure on the back. So when I talk about the amount of weight that a truck can carry, that directly correlates with why I say a half-ton truck should stay at that 6,000 pound rating, whereas a 1-ton truck can go significantly higher. And probably most important of all, how the weight of a fifth wheel is positioned over that much firmer suspension that a heavier duty truck has. You're placing the weight in a completely different fashion on a 1-ton truck whenever you're hauling a fifth wheel. You're putting that weight over the back pin as opposed to behind the bumper and causing all that additional leverage and force, which can equate to instability and sway. So again, when you talk about what half-ton trucks are good for, they can tow trailers. You just have to understand what your limitations are in terms of payload, and because of the increasingly softer ride and that really, really soft suspension they put on the back of half-ton trucks, basically to give you that sedan or SUV type ride experience, well, that also equates to a lot of movement. And that movement, that soft suspension, is what can really create that instability that can cause you to have issues whenever you're towing heavier weights. So whenever I talk about a 6,000 pound travel trailer, you know, at the most, you should probably be transferring about 1,200 pounds to the back of your truck. It gives you a little bit of margin for safety and extra supplies you may bring with you after you load people and all the things inside of your trailer and in the truck. When you're talking about a 1-ton dually truck that has 5,000 pounds worth of cargo capacity, and you have a 3,500 pound pin weight sitting over the back, well, you still have 1,500 pounds worth of capacity left for your hitch, the people in the truck, and accessories you might bring with you. So that's really where it comes to play. It's the payload that you're really trying to manage the weight of. In a dually, you have such firmer suspension. The suspension does not give nearly as much. It handles that jostling, that shock, that downward force much better, and it prevents it from transferring all to the frame and the suspension of your vehicle, which is simply going to give the truck better ability to handle that type of weight, especially when you're going over bumps, when you're going over expansion joints, when you're driving through the wind, and you have things that would normally cause the truck itself to move and articulate because of a soft suspension. So that's my entire argument behind this. It's really the fact that understanding why a 3/4 ton and a 1-ton truck are more capable from a suspension perspective is going to help you understand why I have my limitations whenever I talk about half-ton trucks. Anyways, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.